Hi everyone, a very good evening to one and all. My name is Steffi and I'll be the host for the webinar today. So let me introduce Balveen. Before introducing Balveen, I would also like to speak about Newmi Care. So Newmi Care is India's first women's health life cycle management platform. So where they have clinics, so everything pertaining to a woman life cycle like menopause, pregnancy, hormonal health, etc., etc. These all things are taken care by Newmi. So we have Balveen, who is a nutritionist with 8+ years of experience, will be here today to speak about the nutrition, the smart nutrition and fitness regime we all need to be a healthier me. So obviously we all work in corporate backgrounds. We don't have much time to follow a particular nutrition or probably a particular diet or probably a particular fitness regime, and we lack that healthiness in us. So we have Balveen here, who has 8+ year of experience, who will help us how to manage our nutrition smartly, because we don't have much time, and the fitness which will help us to be a healthy me. So let's hear straight from her. Over to you, Balveen. Balveen, we are not able to hear you.
Just a second. Oh, sorry.
Not able to hear you, Balveen.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay.
You can
All right.
start over your session.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
I was on mute by mistake. Yeah. So starting the session, we get into the flow of it because, as you just said, we've already kind of wasted 2-3 minutes there. So I'll get into the routine of it. See, as you can see on my slide, it is all about smart nutrition. Fitness is a version of yourself itself, right? We just need to make sure that this is something, whatever we do in our day-to-day life, something that has to fuel our body. Like when we look at nutrition books, when I started studying nutrition, the first line that it says is food is fuel for the body, right? And imagine not giving that to yourself.
Balveen, I am sorry.
You're still not able to hear me?
Sorry to interrupt. There are a lot of no. Your audio is not at all
Just a
clear.
second.
So maybe
Now
switch off
tell
your.
me now. Is it better now? I switched off my camera.
Yeah, can everyone there can hear her clearly now? Maybe you can show a thumbs up.
I'll just. Is this better?
Or put it on the chat if Balveen is really audible.
Yeah, I think most of them gives a thumbs
Okay,
up.
I've got a lot of thumbs ups. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Balveen, go ahead.
So the first thing we need to know is why healthy is, right? It obviously is very important for our growth, for the energy bit of it, everything that we do is related to food, right? And obviously, a lot of times there is your mental health coming into the picture these days, your mood stability that comes into the picture. Like she just mentioned that we are all in the corporate setup these days. We all know how stressful it is and how it can
Balveen,
impact
hi. Sorry.
You're not able to hear. Hello?
Yeah, no, we can't hear you properly.
I am actually.
Maybe you can remove your Bluetooth and then maybe start.
Okay, let me just try. One second. Hello? Hello? Yeah, are you able to hear me now? Is this better? Purnima, is this better?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I'll go ahead. So what I was saying is why healthy eating matters is obviously to start with your growth, your nutrition, whatever day to day, activity that we do. Everything depends on food, whatever you're eating. And these days we are in a kind of setup which is very stressful, and it kind of also makes a very very important thing that we take care of our mental health, our physical activity, physical performance, overall quality of life also is dependent on what you're eating every day. And lastly, when we are looking at whatever we are eating, in order to kind of reduce the risk of any heart disease, diabetes, cancer, as much as, let's say, when we look at autoimmune diseases like thyroid and celiac disease, or lactose intolerant, food plays a very important role, because everything, your gut health is related to the food that you're eating. Now, what are the major components of a healthy eating diet? Now, a lot of times you will come across, okay, don't eat this, don't eat that.
Balveen, Balveen, can you hear me?
I
Sorry to
can hear
interrupt.
you. Are you still not able to hear me?
Balveen, you're really not audible. No, can you change the network maybe
I have changed the network
a
already. I'm
little?
actually on personal hotspot. Just a second. Yes, no, are you able to hear me now?
Very low the voice is. Maybe you can speak a little louder,
I think
maybe
my
closer
voice
to the
is still
mic a
little
little.
bit. Okay. I'll try. I'll try.
So
I think it's my
maybe just
voice which.
remove it from the speaker.
I have removed it. I disconnected my headphones. I am on speaker. It's my voice that is that low. Can you hear me now? I think while interaction, it is you're able to hear me, right?
Okay, okay. Can you start over if that's fine?
That's completely fine. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah,
Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Hello.
yeah, we are here. I am
Okay.
able
Oh, ठीक है.
to
So
hear.
what?
Actually, maybe you can just, in the audience, if someone can just give a heads up whether the voice is clear.
Can you hear me now?
Someone who can put in chat. Balvin, we can hear you. Please carry on.
You can, right? Okay. Because I'm not wearing my headphones right now, so I am on speaker. Okay. So I'll just
No
start with
problem.
this right now. Yeah.
Please carry on.
So, see, a lot of times these days, we do come across a lot of sites or a lot of people saying that this is not what you should eat, this is what you should eat. So, a lot of times we kind of forget that nutrition is not about restrictions. It is about a lot of balance that we create in our daily life, because we cannot stay away from one particular food group, because if that is going to cause a lot of deficiencies, right? So, the components of a healthy diet majorly is your carbohydrate, your protein, and your fiber, right? Your fat part of it also. It's not that fat is all bad, you should not have ghee, you should not have oil. That is not the agenda of the healthy diet. You need to include everything. It's just that it has to be in a portion size where we are looking at carbohydrates, protein, and fat. And water being one of the most essential, thing that kind of makes our body run also. A lot of things would kind of come abruptly to an end if there is not enough water. We do feel sugar cravings, sweet cravings, or you tend to feel very hungry or irritated, or mood swings also when you don't have enough water. So these are majorly things that we need to kind of keep in our healthy diet also. Majorly, when we look at our food plate, what it has to look like is right here on your screen. Half of your plate has to be filled with vegetables. Now, this vegetables majorly will fill you up. When you have it in the start of the meal, you'll not feel more hungry to eat carbohydrates. So, half of the plate has to be vegetables, right? That can be in any form, in salad or in the sabzi form, or say soup or stir fry vegetables, right? That's half of your plate. Now, one fourth of the plate, when we are looking at protein, which is majorly missing from an Indian diet, right? your protein is something that is not stored in your body. Like, let's say if you take excess of fat, if you take excess of carbohydrates, both the things are stored in your body for a really long time. But protein is the only macronutrient which is not stored. So you need to give it every particular meal. Now, that kind of consists majorly of your, when you're talking about a vegetarian diet, you have a little limited options. Only your dal, pulses, your milk and milk products are only source of protein. But when you are going into the non-vegetarian part of it, along with this, there is egg, your fish, or chicken, and all also that can be included. The rest of the one fourth plate is your carbohydrates. Now, this is majorly wherein we look at an Indian in an Indian diet. This has half of the plate more covered, right? Which has to actually be one fourth of the plate, so that our sugar levels don't spike up after the meal, or we don't feel sleepy after the meal. For that, we have to restrict it to one fourth of the plate. Now, let's say, for example, when you are taking roti or rice or idli or dosa, now let's say if you're taking four rotis, how is that going to fit into one fourth of the plate, right? So then you increased your portion of carbohydrates. You need to restrict it to one fourth plate only, right? This is majorly. Now, let's say, for example, when a person is eating only roti and sabzi in lunch, so one of the major portion that is missing is your salad and your protein part. So let's say if you don't have the time to cook a dal or sambar, right, maybe just taking a cup of curd or a boiled egg would be enough to complete your plate. And always start your meal with some vegetable portion so that you don't feel very hungry to eat more carbs. Now, another very important thing that we were also discussing earlier is your mental well being. Now, a lot of times, what happens is we end up eating only three meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner. A lot of times, we end up skipping breakfast also, right? Now, what happens here is the rest of the things like fruits and nuts majorly go missing in the diet, which actually is very important thing, when we look at antioxidants, when we look at omega-3 fatty acids, when we want to improve our brain health, that is actually very important. Now, avoiding excess of sugar, or when you want your mood swings not to happen, or you want to control your cravings of eating outside food, again, these foods would help. If you're taking a lot of sugar in your diet, or if you're taking a lot of jaggery, brown sugar, any substitute of sugar as well, will actually lead to a lot of cravings that would happen. Now, another thing is your, when you don't have your regular meals, right? You would feel very irritated, agitated, or you feel suddenly you're having hunger pangs. Now, that also plays a very important role, wherein you have to eat your timely meals. Maybe three meals a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A small snack has to come into the picture, because otherwise, what would happen is you would already be stressed about work, and then you've not eaten anything. Both the things coming together would lead to increase in more of stress. And this was majorly about when we were talking about, what exactly is your macronutrient, what is a balanced diet, right? Now, another thing is, these days we do end up consuming a lot of packaged food, right? Now, how do you know that's healthy for you or no? Now, reading nutrition label is become like the need of the hour, because when you know what you are eating, you will know, okay, if you're eating healthy or unhealthy. But if you don't know how to read a nutrition label, how can we say, oh, this is healthy or not healthy? Now, these days, there are so many brands of biscuits that have come out that, oh, this is almond cookies, this is ragi biscuits. But whenever you read the first, ingredient of that particular thing, you will know that the first ingredient would always be maida, or it will be wheat flour, because biscuits cannot be made without that. And the second ingredient for sure would be oil, because again, the way we have the break in the biscuit, that is only coming because you are having a lot of fat added to it, right? Now, we have to just make sure of, we need to focus on the serving size. Now, over here I have just put a picture. The serving size is like, let's say, 45 grams, right? And the quantity that you're getting in a particular packet is 100 grams. Now, we need to know how much are we eating. We are not eating a 100-gram packet. So if we are eating a 45-gram packet, how much calories are we getting? What is the percentage RDA per serve? Now, RDA is your recommended dietary allowance. That means in a day, this is what you are having. Now, let's say energy, if a particular packet has 45 grams, has 155 calories, that means 8% of your calories in the day is done already. Now, if it has 10 grams of protein, 22% of your requirement for the protein is done already. Now this is something that we need to understand, that it should not cross more than 10-15% of your daily calories, because not that we are just having this packaged food, right? We're going to have the rest of the meal, or we're going to have the next meal as well, so that it doesn't cross it shouldn't go up to a 40-50%. That would be very high, right? Now, next is you need to also look at hidden sugars and trans fats. Now, when we are looking at, let's say when they say total sugars, right? And then over there below it, there is a new thing that has come up wherein they say added sugar is how much. Now, whenever you look at a product, make sure it should not have more than 5 grams of added sugar. And let's say if someone has PCOS, or someone has, diabetes or blood pressure, then it should be zero. Added sugar should not be there. Now, total sugars can be there because the carbohydrate portion can be there. You can have, like, let's say if you're looking at a granola bar, it has oats. Now, oats has carbohydrates. So you will see carbohydrates or total sugars mentioned, but added sugar should be zero. Okay. And another thing, aim for a low sodium and a high fiber, because again, when you take very high sugar rich product, you will tend to feel hungry in the next 1 hour. But if you're taking a high fiber snack, it is going to make you feel more full, and you will not feel hungry after eating that snack immediately. Now, how do we kind of create a balance plan also for us? I've kind of given you a hint how to do it as well. But now, another thing is you need to obviously personalize everything. It cannot be that, whatever I see on the internet, or whatever someone is saying on a particular reel or YouTube, right, that fits me. No, it will not, right? You have to adjust as per your needs. Let's say there are some people who know night shift. They cannot obviously follow something what a morning shift person is following, right? So you need to have that routine set according to your life, what you think you can do for a really long time, and what you think you can do for lifetime actually. It shouldn't be, oh, 3 months I did it, 1 month I'm not going to do it again, I will do it for 1 month and then I will not be able to do it. Because that will actually have a very yo-yo dieting effect. You will lose weight, you will gain weight, you will lose weight, you will gain weight, and you kind of missing out on a lot of nutrition bit of it also when you do that. So you need to understand, you start your 3 meal a day approach. You add a healthy snack, maybe like nuts and fruits, as we were talking about omega-3 fatty acids being there, which will actually work for your mental health as well. That is very important. Again, hydration, don't forget, because that will improve your digestion, your metabolism. A lot of times, we see that we feel dehydrated and then we tend to munch on a lot of things. Now, whenever you feel hungry after eating a meal, next time, take a glass of water. Wait for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. See if you're still hungry, okay, maybe you can take a fruit or some nuts, right? But most of the times, your thirst is actually indicating, oh, you're hungry, but you're not hungry, you're actually thirsty. So you need to have a glass of water and wait for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If it is thirst, it will go away. You won't have the craving anymore. But if you still have it, then you can have a small snack that time. Now, another last thing that I feel a lot of us do tend to go wrong in, we feel that, okay, I need to do this perfectly. No, that's not going to happen, right? Sometimes someone will come home, you will be traveling, you'll be going on a vacation, or you'll be sick, anything can happen, right? Now, another thing is we need to make sure, okay, when we have that break, are we coming back on track with everything? We need to make sure that we aim for consistency. We do something that we can do everyday basis, not something that we can do perfectly for 1 week, but after that it's all going down the drain. That should not happen, right? So basically, majorly a takeaway for a balanced diet plan is that you need to eat proper 3 meals, because that's going to fuel your body. One of the snacks, so that you don't feel very hungry for the next meal, right? Hydration is very important, and we need to not be perfect. We need to just make sure that whatever we are following today, can we follow that for the rest of our life. Now, again, I think I've kind of covered up a little bit here, but a lot of people's, they think, oh, when I'm trying to eat healthy, it will be very expensive. Yes, I mean, in a way, when you're ordering out, it will be expensive. But let's say when you're making it at home, the way you make it, or what kind of, things that you're adding, seasonal fruits or seasonal vegetables, or when you buy everything in bulk, not just half kg, 1 kg, right? Comparatively, it will not be expensive. And a lot of times we feel, oh, it's going to be very boring, tasteless. I will have to have only soups and salads. No, you don't have to have only soups and salads if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to eat healthy. You need to follow plate method. What I just said, half of your plate has to be filled with vegetables, one fourth of the plate has to be filled with protein, and one fourth plate has to be filled with carbohydrates. Now you're not missing anything at all, right? Let's say if you're talking about a pizza or a pasta dish, it's not that it's unhealthy. It's just that when we are looking at pasta, right, it cannot have no vegetables, right? It has to have vegetables. That is your portion of fiber, which is going to make you feel full. Pasta is going to be your carbohydrates and the protein that you need to add. We cannot feel that, oh, it'll just a plain white sauce pasta. No, it needs to have some chicken or paneer added to it so that you comparatively feel more full, right? And then another thing is, a lot of times I'm sure all of you would have heard, oh, wheat is not good, stop having wheat. Milk is not good, stop having milk. Rice is not good. When you're trying to lose weight, don't have rice at all. No, you cannot actually cut off your entire food group. Now, everything that I mentioned, let's say, for example, if you cut on milk, right, that gives you lactose, that gives you calcium. So now, when you're cutting on that, you're actually making your body deficient. Again, when you're cutting on wheat or you're cutting on rice, you're letting go of B vitamin, which is actually very, very important for your skin, for your hair, everything. So we cannot completely cut off our entire food plate. What we need to do is we need to balance. We need to make sure, oh, one fourth of the plate is zyada. It should not have more than that, the quantity of carbohydrates, right? So everything can actually be made budget friendly. It can, you can create very good recipes at home which you really like. Maybe, add some oregano or chili flakes, or some pasta mix that you get these days. You can add that so that it makes you feel that okay, you're eating at home but you're still eating healthy and you're actually enjoying that. Now we go to the next part. This was all about food. Major takeaway is that you need to not skip on your meals. You need to make sure that you have 3 meals a day, one snack at least, right? Now, again, when we look at it, we have to make sure that this is how our plate should look like. When one fourth of the plate has to be protein, one fourth carbohydrates, and half vegetables, right? I'm sure a lot of you will have questions about this. We will discuss that at end of the slide. I just have another few things to discuss about exercise, and then we will move on to the Q&A as well, right? Now, again, a lot of times exercise is something that is neglected big time. We really feel that we don't have the time to do it. We have to go to office in the morning, or we have to start working in the morning. I have to cook my tiffin in the morning, right? And then when we come back home end of the day, we don't feel the strength, right? But what I want to tell all of you, that it has to be something very simple workouts that you can do on regular day basis. Again, sustainability is something which is very, 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 very important. Now, if you feel that okay, I'm gonna do a 2 hour workout in the gym or 1 hour workout at the gym, if you think like that, obviously you will not have time. But when you tell yourself, do I have 15 minutes to go for a walk? Do I have 15 minutes to work out at home? Right? That is something that you will say yes to. But comparatively, when you directly say, oh, it has to be a 1 hour workout, that may not happen. Now, there are different exercises that you could also do. Now, your body weight exercises like your squats, your lunges, push ups, that can be done anywhere, right? You can do it at the maybe at a park if you have a park nearby your house, or either at home itself, you can do that. Stretching and mobility exercises also actually tend to relieve tension. So that also can be actually done at home. There are a lot of YouTube videos that you can look at. Maybe I can share the links later, which can actually, you can start with 10-15 minutes. It can be like a 1 mile walk, and then you can start your rest of the day as well. Now, lastly, exercises, because most of the times we are sitting at one place for a really long time. Desk exercises like you're doing the twist or your shoulder roll or leg roll, that would actually be very beneficial when you're doing that. And maybe getting up from your seat every hour or 2 hours for a minute, maybe just standing at your desk, not even going anywhere, just standing at your desk for a minute or two and then sitting down, that would also be increasing your mobility because you're changing your posture, you're changing your position, right? So, exercise doesn't have to be complicated. Something like a very simple workout, you can start with walking 15 minutes, doing shoulder rolls, doing stretching exercises 15 minutes would actually be beneficial, right? Now, another thing, finding time, you can choose your time. A lot of times people say you should start doing workout in the morning. No, but it totally depends on you. If you think you're not someone who can, get up early, go for a walk or go for a run, a nighttime workout is also something that could work for you, or an evening workout also. So it actually depends, when do you think you can do it. Maybe for 10 days you'll wake up in the morning, but after that you can't wake up anymore, you can't actually give up on your sleep. So in that way, it really depends, when do you have the time to spare that 10-15 minutes per day. That is when you have to work out. Maybe starting with the basic walk, or parking your car or parking your scooter like further away so that you can do some extra steps. Maybe wearing a wristband wherein it tells you how many steps you've done throughout the day. Doing 10,000 steps is not the thing. You can do something as basic as 5 or 6,000, but as long as another 20 minutes of workout is included, right? Because a lot of times, even if you do 10,000 steps, but if you're not actually relaxing enough also, you're not getting good sleep as well, then that 10,000 steps also won't make any sense, right? So maybe you can start using a fitness app, or maybe wearing a wristband wherein it tells you how many steps you're doing, right? Maybe you could do an online class in the morning or in the evening, whatever is convenient for you, right? Something that you can again and again, I'm repeating, something that you can do for a really long time is very, very important. Now, again, exercise doesn't have to be that you have to do it with weights only, or you have to go to the gym only. You can do it at home. You can do your body workout. Like how a lot of times, if you maybe, after this session, try doing a 10-second plan, that you are holding that 50, 60, 70 kgs, whatever weight you have, you're actually holding that entire weight. It is much more than holding a 5 kgs dumbbell. So maybe trying that and telling yourself, oh, if I'm able to do 10 seconds of plank today, can I do after a month 1 minute? Maybe increase just 10 seconds every week, or 15 seconds, depending on how much you are able to push yourself. Do not start directly with a 1 hour of workout. Your thighs, your back is going to be really sore, and then the next day you're not going to be able to get up from your bed. So start very, like, just 10-15 minutes, and then go ahead adding 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe every bi-weekly or weekly day. Right. Now, this was one of the quick fits that I kind of prepared. Maybe, I think we've already shared the presentation, but you can take a screenshot of this as well. Wherein this is something basic that you can do in the middle of the day anytime, or start of the day, right? You could do this maybe 2-3 times, right? Or if you, let's say, keep a target of two to start with, and reaching up to 5, this would actually help to stretch completely. You would feel comparatively more energetic after doing this as well, right? I think this is something that you could do on everyday basis. When I prepared it also and I did it myself, I think it did not take me more than a minute to do this. So I think all of us can keep a regime that maybe start of the day we can start with this, and maybe in the evening, once you're back home, you've had a cup of tea or you've had your water, after that you can start with, like, do this 2-3 times, and then you know go ahead with your day. Lastly, everything actually depends on you. I mean, no matter what anyone says on internet, or let's say matter of fact me also, right? It has to come from within, that you need to actually make these small changes to lead to big results. It cannot be that, okay, something someone is saying, but if it doesn't work for my body, right, then it is not right for you. Now you need to obviously make sure that you start with maybe one habit every day, or one habit per week or month, depending on how your willpower is as well. right? Maybe start with one habit every time. Now, a lot of times what happens is we tend to do too many changes in one day. Okay, I'm going to do this also, I'm going to do this also, I will go for a 1 hour workout also, and then after maybe week, 10 days, 15 days, we give it all up, right? So until the time that one habit that you've chosen for yourself doesn't, like, become a routine for you, that okay, that okay, if I don't do this, my day will not be complete. Keep doing that and then choose another, healthy habit that you want to take forward. Now, again, everything is all about sustainability. If someone can tell you something, but you have to make sure, can I do this for a really long time? Maybe whatever I've said today may not work for someone, but you have to find out what exactly would then work for you, and you have to start creating those small changes so that you reach your goal one day. And that goal could be as simple as maybe just eating healthy. Doesn't have to be weight loss, or doesn't have to be anything rocket science. Something as basic as what you have thought for yourself. Maybe keep realistic goals. That is very important. Now, a lot of times, people do come to me and they tell me, I want to lose 20 kgs in 3 months. I want to lose 10 kgs in 1 month. Now, see, imagine if you're doing that, how less would you be eating? And what would you be eating to reach there? Now, but what happens is, by eating normally and sustainability, if you're still losing weight or if you're still getting at a better health, your energy levels are getting better, that is the way to go about it. Anything that makes you feel low on energy, anything that makes you feel that, oh, I have to give up on my favorite foods, or if I have to give up on something completely, that is not the right fit for you, right? Yes. And I think we are done here. Are you able to hear me? Hello?
Yeah, Balveen, I am just checking for some questions this side.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. I believe you would have some questions to ask the expert regarding the nutrition and fitness bit. If you all have any questions, please put it in the Q&A section. Okay, there are some questions. I'll just read out the question. Egg
Sure.
being the good source of protein, I am a person taking 10K steps a day. How many eggs can I take max per day to fulfill my protein?
Okay. So again, uh, egg should not be the only source of protein, right? Now, let's say if you don't have blood pressure, you don't have cholesterol, you don't have diabetes, nothing, right? So one whole egg with maybe 2 to 3 egg whites every day would be good. But see, that's only going to meet up to 12-15 grams of your requirement. Ideally, we are supposed to take 0.8 to 1 gram per kg body weight, right? So let's say if a person's weight is 50 kgs, so around 45-50 kgs, they should meet up to the requirement, right? Now, when you take egg, one whole egg with 2 egg whites or 3 egg whites or 5 egg whites also, right? It's only going to be 15-20 grams of protein. The rest has to come from your lentils, or either the roti or the rice that you're eating, the bare minimum that comes into the picture. Maybe adding paneer that day in your diet would meet up. With just egg, you will not be able to meet up your requirement. Maybe you'll have to take, I don't know, let's say for a 50 gram, a person who weighs 50 kgs would have to take like maybe 20 plus eggs to meet that. So it would be, let's say, I usually say one whole egg with 2 to 3 egg whites daily would meet up to a 15 grams of protein requirement. The rest of it you have to still cover up with your milk and milk products, your dals and lentils, pulses, chole, rajma, these things.
Great. Thanks, Balveen, for answering that. We have another question. Source of calcium if I am on a vegan diet.
Okay, so let's say in a vegan diet, obviously, you do let go of milk and milk products. Now, when you look at calcium, your green leafy vegetables, your tofu and all, a lot of times, maybe taking calcium supplement also would help if you do not have these options available, right? But majorly, maybe taking 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds every day could also be a good, intake of calcium as well, because there is something called as required nutrition that you need, but there is something called as what your body can also digest. So let's say when you're on a vegan diet, maybe vegetarian sources could be a thing, wherein your sesame, your green leafy vegetables could be a thing, or fortified foods as well.
Thanks, Balvin. There's another question. You stress a lot on vegetables and fruits. Nowadays, a lot of fertilizers and pesticides are used for growing vegetables and fruits. Over and above that, sellers are injecting chemical colors into the fruits. Even the organic fruits and vegetables are high in metallic minerals. In this condition, how to achieve having fruits and vegetable in meal?
So see, I mean, if I really go to think of it, I've thought this myself many times. Okay, I've thought this to myself like maybe every weekly basis. I would have to stop eating if I think so deep into it, right? Because let's say, for example, this is just pesticide that we're talking about. Let's talk about milk and curd, right? How are we getting this much of milk from one particular cow? Let's say, for example, if she's able to give only 10 liters in a day, but we are getting 25 or 30, that's because oxytocin injection are being injected, and that is how we are able to get that supply, right? So the thing is, you just have to see that whoever you're buying it from, is it a trusted source? Or, let's say if maybe garden, like let's say if you don't trust where what you're getting in your plate, maybe a kitchen farm would be a good source for you. Whoever has asked this question, maybe kitchen gardening or something could work for you actually. But otherwise, I'm not talking about taking a fruit, maybe like 10 fruits a day. What I mean is maybe just one fruit daily, right? That could be the thing. And if you think maybe a banana is a safe source for you, that also would work. So I mean, to answer that question, I've thought that about myself, like I've thought myself about it as well. But you can't really change those things, I don't think so. Only thing is that you can grow your own fruits and vegetables, that's it. But I don't know how sustainable that is, right?
Thanks, Balvin, for
I'm
answering that.
sorry, I couldn't answer that question, but I mean,
Yeah,
you can.
you managed to at least let us
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There's another question. Any alternative or easy option for caffeine intake without dairy products, because black coffee and black tea are tasteless?
Hmm. Okay. If you've heard about kombucha, or if you've heard about maybe iced tea or something, that would also actually work, right? Comparatively, it doesn't have a lot of caffeine. It is actually very good for your gut health as well, right? Or something like, let's say these refreshment, now that summer is around, it's already here actually. Maybe adding, just to water, add some mint leaves, add some lemon, or adding some cucumber slices, right? That could also flavor the water really well, which you can have, right? If you feel really thirsty, that could be your go-to water intake, really improve your water intake. And another thing is that if you feel that fruits, the peels of fruit like orange peels or apple peels, right, you could add those as well, so that also actually flavors the water really well, because I think that would lead to better hydration, which would not make you feel like having more caffeine. Now again, another thing is, this is what I was talking about in my presentation also. A lot of times we confuse that the body is asking for this, but we end up going having a cup of coffee. But let's say before a cup of coffee, if you just have a warm glass of water, right, you won't feel that crazy craving for a coffee, because your body wanted something and you didn't understand the signal, and you had something which you have been having. So maybe something like that, like your water infused waters or kombucha or something like iced tea could be a thing for you.
Balvin, that answered the question which I also had. Personally, even we have a lot of beverages like this, especially in the corporate
Yeah.
sector.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe all of us can try this iced tea thing, what you just
Hmm.
mentioned. Maybe that could help all of
Guys,
us.
you can try kombucha. You could try infused water, but again, pick up a flavor like I just mentioned, mint and lemon, right? But pick up a flavor which you would really like for yourself, and add that to water, and that should work for you. Keep sipping on water throughout the day. Otherwise, you would tend to go towards caffeine and packaged food.
Great. Any food to reduce acid reflux? Another question.
Oh yes. So I have this, I mean, whoever has asked this question, make sure you note this down. This is a magic pill that I have. Okay. You need to take 1 tablespoon of soft, 1 tablespoon of dhania, 1 tablespoon of jeera, 1 tablespoon of ajwain. Okay. All this has to be in the whole form. You will take 1 tablespoon of each jeera, soft, dhania, and ajwain. Okay. You will have to add this in a liter of water. You will boil this water for at least 15-20 minutes. After that, you sieve this and sip on this water start of the day. For in the next 3-4 hours, you have to finish this. Have only this water to start your day, starting from tomorrow itself. I can guarantee that within maybe 7-10 days, you're gonna feel 50% better than what you're feeling right now. I'll repeat it again. You have to take 1 tablespoon jeera, soft, dhania. Everything has to be in the whole form. Ajwain.
Maybe
Add it
Balveen,
in a
I can just
liter.
type it out. What did you
Yeah,
say?
sure.
One,
It's 1 tablespoon soft,
1 tablespoon soft. Okay.
jeera, jeera,
Plus 1 tablespoon of jeera
dhania seeds. You get those green seeds.
and
Ajwain.
okay.
This
And
is in
you
a liter of water.
boil it in.
Yeah, just 1 liter of water. Just boil it
Oh,
in 1 liter of water and sieve this
okay.
and have this in the next 3-4 hours. That's it.
Great. So,
Yeah.
Sakshi, I've typed it out, the recipe which Balveen just mentioned. Maybe all of us can use this because acidity is one type of issue which every corporate employee has today.
I
Anyways,
can guarantee if you follow this for a month, for a total month, I can guarantee you're gonna have this every time you eat outside food and you feel you're gonna have acidity. You're gonna first thing come to your house and make this so that I don't get acidity.
great, Balveen. Another question for a person who is in night shift, specifically leaving work at around 1 to 3 a.m. Is there any time window after that one should restrict eating anything, whether it's a fruit, sprout, or any unhealthy food?
I think before before you go to bed, right? That you because obviously let's say every each of us go to bed at different times. Maybe 2-3 hours before bedtime, stop eating anything. Right? Let's say when we talk about a lot of people, go have milk before bedtime. What we mean is before bedtime, we mean 2 hours before. We don't mean right before and then go to sleep. Because let's say in a person with no diabetes also, that milk sugar that is naturally present will tend to shoot up. Your body did not need that milk to sleep, right? So anytime, whenever you sleep, stop eating 2 to 3 hours before your bedtime. Now, even if it is 5 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock in the night.
Oh, that's a really nice answer. We have
No,
another question. See, organic vegetables and non-organic. Is it true organic all times not possible to buy organic vegetables or groceries? Please suggest about this.
see, I think each one of us should go organic with the very basic of like curry patta, or let's say mint leaves or dhania, which we have at like we usually buy the out, right? Maybe we could have like a small kitchen garden for ourselves, or maybe just planted at home. Rest of the things I feel, obviously a lot of times organic is just the difference between organic and inorganic is that organic may you know what the farmer is feeding the goat or the horse or etc etc, right? What kind of fertilizers are being added. That is the only difference in organic and inorganic. The quantity is actually controlled, right? But let's say if you're not able to do organic, the normal ones are also fine. I think most of us have been growing up like that only. We all grown up eating normal food, not organic food. I think this organic food comes into the picture wherein a lot of people, right, when they do an allergen test or a comprehensive allergen test and they are allergic to these pesticides, that is how they are moving towards an organic thing. But let's say if you're not allergic to it and we have been, having it and it is not causing any issues to our body, we might as well, I think, we've adapted to it. So you can have normal food, that's not a problem at all.
Thank you, Balveen. That
I,
helps.
I mean, just to add to that, me being a nutritionist, I don't have organic food as such. Have normal food.
Yeah, I understand. It's very difficult to get organic food
It's
in
only for a specific. It's only for a specific. I think population. It's not for everyone actually. It's just that I think it's making more money. That is how it's marketed.
great. Okay, I have another question here. I have started very short exercise from last 7 days,
Mhm.
but feeling very tired and do not able to do daily tasks. So for initially, should I have to take some supplements? Kindly suggest some sort of supplements.
Okay. So the first thing that comes to my head listening to this question is vitamin D. But see, before I suggest any supplements, one thing, if anyone is trying to know where exactly they are going wrong, every one of you should do a health checkup. You should know if your vitamin D levels are low, if they are high, or if they are in the normal range, right? Let's say if they are low, that could be one of the reasons why you're feeling really low on energy, right? Vitamin D supplement is one thing, but I would advise start it only when you do a full health body checkup, vitamin D and B12 counting. And let's say if there is anything that is low, then you start with the supplementation. Otherwise, you see, you're not going to the root cause of the problem. Let's say, for example, if your vitamin D comes normal or your supplements, what you're talking about, everything in the body is fine. Maybe the reason is stress, or maybe the reason is not sleeping well, right? Then you not solve the root cause. You've taken the supplement, but you're not going to feel better. So do a full body checkup with the vitamin D and B12. If it comes low, then you start with the supplements.
Okay. There's another interesting question because it's summer. To hydrate specifically for summer, water is enough or anything else will be advised?
Water is actually more than enough. I think only thing is a lot of people feel they forget to have water or they don't like the taste of water, though it doesn't have any taste, right? Like I said in my previous answer also, if you feel just plain water is good for you, you can have that. That is hydrating enough. If you feel that you need to maybe add something, then you can add fruit peels or you could add these mint, lemon, cucumber, all these things to just flavor your water.
That's great. That's a very nice idea, which all of us can do. There's
Yes.
another question. There was a mention about not having products that
Mhm.
list daily recommended value more than 20 to 30% of daily intake.
Correct.
Why is that the case? What
Okay.
harm will I get if I eat more protein than the daily recommended value, or more carbohydrates, or more healthy things?
Okay. So let's say, for example, a particular product that you're eating. Okay. Let's say we have one particular product in our hand which gives us 45% of the recommended dietary allowance of today, because that's talking about this particular meal, right? Now, let's say if you've already eaten 45% of your total calorie intake in that particular meal, what about the rest three meals or rest two meals? Then you're gonna have to have very small meals to kind of take care of that, right? So that is one why you're not supposed to take a very high caloric snack, because the entire calories would come to that only, right? Like let's say for example we go to Starbucks. Okay, and Starbucks has a coffee has mentioned 380 calories, let's say for example, and it says 380 calories are there. It is 25% of your requirement. So now 25% of the requirement is already done. You just have 75 left. So you have to manage it accordingly. Okay, that is one. Now another thing, how you were saying that excess of carbohydrates intake, right? Now let's say when you take a lot of carbohydrates, okay, you're gonna end up storing it in your body because it's excess, right? Let's say manager dumps a lot of files on your desk. It's going to lie there, right? You don't have 10 hands to do everything together. It's going to lie there. You're going to do one file at a time, one file at a time, right? Now, let's say if you are taking so much of carbohydrates which is not needed by the body, wo to wahin pe hi padi rahegi, right? It's going to lie there. It's your body is not going to do anything about it. It's just going to fat store. Now, you're going to increase your weight, your insulin resistance will increase. Now, another thing, protein. Excess of protein, see, 1 gram, 1.2 grams per kg body weight is more than enough. If you take a lot of it, now your kidneys have to overwork to excrete it. Now, let's say, if the kidneys were very calmly sitting there and now you give it a pump of protein, it's like, oh, what do I do now? I have to get rid of this because the body doesn't need it, right? As I said, protein is the only macronutrient which is not stored. So if you have excess of it, your body as it is now going to use it, right? So you need to take it in the required amount by your body, which is 1 gram per kg body weight. Let's say 50% of the requirement of carbohydrates is your daily routine. If you're going to take 100%, you're going to increase your weight then.
Great. So I hope this piece of advice from Balvin, straight from the expert, is taken. Another question I have, I'm sure many of us land up with cholesterol,
Mm-hmm.
diabetes, etc., due to a lot of stress. So I have another question asked by one of a consumer. I'm having
Mm-hmm.
cholesterol, so which food should I take to lower cholesterol? Any physical activities recommended? That's the question.
Yes. So cholesterol, top three things that would come to my mind, and I think you should do that. One is you need to add fiber in your diet. Okay, fiber comes from your vegetables. Okay. Now fiber is the thing which is not digested or absorbed in your body. Okay. Now let's say when cholesterol comes into the picture, it binds with this fiber, and because this is not digested, your cholesterol also comes out in the body like that. So one is salad because it combines with your cholesterol and doesn't let it get absorbed. So this is to prevent further increase in cholesterol. Right now, to control the current scenario, also workout is very important. Now, cholesterol is a type of fat. Now, how does that fat get rid? How do you get rid of it? By working out. Now, just doing a plain walk, maybe just doing once or twice weight training or your body weight also, right? Maybe in a week, twice would help, and maybe other 2 3 days you could just simply go for a walk. That is there. Now, the third thing is eating nuts are really good. Now, there is a misconception, oh, you should not take, nuts. You should not take oil. Don't take oil if you want to reduce your cholesterol. No, cholesterol is only present in animal foods. It is not present in vegetarian sources of food. So your oil, Safola, or I don't want to name brands, but sorry, it just came out like that. These brands say zero cholesterol oil, but that is a fact. It's just a market gimmick that they are saying zero cholesterol. It doesn't have cholesterol. Only animal foods have cholesterol. Now, milk, curd, ghee will have cholesterol because it's an animal food, right? But safola oil, canola oil, mustard oil, nuts, seeds don't have cholesterol. Adding walnuts and almonds in your diet would actually help in controlling cholesterol. Reducing the intake, if you eat non-vegetarian food, limit to thrice a week only. That would also help in controlling cholesterol.
Okay, that cleared many of our misconceptions, I believe, because whenever we talk about cholesterol, we always point it out to oil. So
Yeah.
here comes another question regarding cooking oil. I'm sure you'll be able to give us some insight here as well. Please throw some light on the kind of cooking oil to be consumed as a medium, considering Indian food
Yeah.
preparation. So I'm sure many would want to make samosas, puris, etc. So once in a way, people like all of these stuff. So maybe you can help us understand what kind of cooking oil would have a healthy heart.
Yes. So see, it actually depends which region you are in, right? Let's say, for example, if you are, a region and the weather also matters. Like, let's say, for example, it's winter, right? Your methi, palak, everything is in the season. It goes really well with mustard oil. So maybe that time mustard oil for 2-3 months you can use. The rest of the 2-3 months you could use rice bran. Groundnut oil is really good. Your mustard seed oil, canola oil, right? The only thing is that keep changing your oil every 2 to 3 months. So don't use one particular oil for the rest of the year, because let's say whatever is there in canola is not there in sunflower, whatever is there in sunflower is not there in rice bran, right? So you can keep switching your oil. And was there another part for this question? I think so. The top oil that I would recommend is your rice bran, groundnut, mustard oil. Um, you could do canola also. You could do sunflower also, right? It's just that keep changing every 2-3 months your oil.
So, Balveen, we have another question regarding hair fall. I'm sure many of the girls or the ladies who are there as our consumers here would have this question. Many men too, for that matter. Can we take biotin tablets for excess hair oil? Hair fall, sorry, not hair oil.
Okay. So you can do that, but see, for a month when you take it regularly, if it is making a change, right, then continue with it, right? Maybe do a 3 months course, then stop it, then again do a 3 months course after 1 or 2 months, right? But see, hair fall is not just related to biotin, okay? It could be related to if you're iron deficient. It could be related to vitamin D deficiencies. It could be related to if your hemoglobin is low. So again, I would actually emphasize whenever someone's trying to make a healthier lifestyle or they're trying to get on to a particular healthy eating or exercise, do a full body checkup so that you know why is this happening, right? So let's say you can start with a 1 month biotin supplement, but stop that, see how it is impacting. If that is not a thing, do a full body checkup, see what the deficiency is, and then work on that deficiency. Now whenever there is, body pain, there is hair fall, there is skin issues, there is nails get brittle, right? They are all your body trying to say that there is something wrong inside, fix it, right? Because you can't see inside your body what's going wrong. So these are the things that you can see, that is how you are coming to know that there is something wrong. So try to do a full body checkup and see. And otherwise, as I said, there's no harm. You can do a 1 month course of biotin. But if it is not changing, then you know that biotin is not the thing. There is another underlying cause for this issue. Stress also is one of the things, right? Now imagine you eat the best of the diet and you have worked out every hour every day, but if your sleep is not good, if you're really really stressed out, trust me, you're not going to feel good, right? So that is something that you need to check up every time you're going to try to eat or trying to fix a problem. First know what is the problem.
Okay. Okay, Balveen, that really helps. I think we will take up the last question, and I'm sure this question many of us would want you to answer because
Mhm.
I have been hearing quite a lot on inflammation, anti-inflammatory foods on
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook,
Mhm.
etc., etc. There's one particular consumer who is asking, what are the food that helps to reduce inflammation? Maybe this is the last question we'll take up for the day.
Okay. So see, everything and anything you do, I am sure you would have just realized everything is about sustainability, right? Anything and everything you do to your body or whatever you're eating is actually nourishing your body, right? There is nothing specific that you can do which will be anti-inflammatory, but yes, why do they say anti-inflammatory food? Now, see, this is a general thing that I myself am saying, right? When I say antioxidant rich foods, when I would see it green leafy vegetable, blueberries, strawberries, or let's say salmon and all, right? But do we get this every time, all around the year? No. Another thing, is our palate that great for all these foods? Maybe not, right? Someone might feel, oh, tomatoes are really, rich source of lycopene, which is an antioxidant. But someone may feel, oh, when I add more tomatoes to my sambar or my dal, I end up having acidity. So it cannot be like, one shoe fits all. So you need to just make sure that anything and everything that you eat is actually nourishing your body. There is nothing specific as such. But when you are looking at your plate, this is how your plate should look like, because
Yeah,
balanced food.
many words
Anything that
for
you
that
miss,
that well.
yeah, anything
That's a
that you
good.
miss, you can say that okay, it is causing inflammation, or something that you've not added. Right? As soon as you not add a particular food group, you will see that okay, there is deficiencies, and that would cause inflammation, because now your body is already at a back foot.
All right. Balveen, one last question, because it was asked too many times. Can you
Okay.
suggest few protein shake recipes for weight loss and muscle gain by just one?
Okay. So I think I will have to share that with you. I don't have it at the tip of my tongue, but yeah, there are very good ones wherein you can mix a lot of seeds, pumpkin seeds, watermelon seeds, right? And you could add a few things in the mixture, which you can have every day in the morning or post workout kind of a thing. Or you could do smoothies as well, like with Greek yogurt or curd. That could also be good. I mean, I don't have the recipe by heart. I mean, I can share it later.
No problem. Balveen, that was an amazing session for all of us to understand what is the right kind of nutrition we should have for a healthy lifestyle being in the corporate sector. Uh, so thank you all of you all to join the session. Thank you, Balveen, especially. Thank you, Ashima, for giving us this opportunity to convey this important message through Balveen to our consumers. Thank you so much. Have a great evening ahead.